Hello and welcome to the feature game for my second match of the Dominion League. This is the feature game because we pursue different deck building strategies. That is always interesting to me. Looking at the kingdom, we have plus cards in Rice Broker and Werewolf. We have plus actions in Conclave. We have plus buy in Courtier and Rope. There's gain in tools as well. Finally, there is trashing in both Rice Broker and Rope. My initial thoughts looking at the kingdom was to build a deck that had many border guards. The training token would then be placed on the border guards. I would use a combination of Courtier and tools to gain plus buy, and also tools would gain the action cards that I need. Courtier works very well with both distant lands and werewolf, both cards I would want in my deck, because they have 3 and 4 types respectively. I can exercise more options, or all of the options, in the case of werewolf on the Courtier. Let's see what my opponent gets up to. That is a bit of a mystery right now. It's something I entirely overlooked, but I will not overlook it in the future now. I start off with a rope to get to trashing, so does my opponent, and border guard I think is reasonable to get me to 5 for the Rice Broker. Also, it ties in nicely with my plan to put the training token on the border guards. Let's see what my opponent goes for. A border guard as well. Seems like they're going for the same thing as me. They get to 5 with their rope in play on turn 3. They have to be happy about that. I expect this to be a Rice Broker. It is. I see my rope, but I do not see 5 on this turn. Instead, I see 4 on 2 buys. So that is going to be a couple of border guards. I'm fairly confident with the 3 border guards in deck now that I will get to 5 on this shuffle. Opponent trashes an estate. Out comes their border guard. They get to 4. Could be another rope. Maybe even tools at this stage of the game. They go for a conclave. And this is the start of me questioning their decisions. I didn't like the conclave straight away. Surely tools or rope would have been better. But like I said, my opponent is doing something different to my plan. I get to the 5 here, and that gets me a Rice Broker. My opponent plays their Rice Broker, draws 2 cards, out comes their Conclave. For 2 coin, I didn't like the Conclave because I thought I didn't need the money to get to 5. Conclave has 2 coins on it, but my border guards will get me to 5, that's fine. So they get to 5 with the Conclave, they buy a werewolf, okay. Again, I didn't care too much about the werewolf. Conclave does give plus actions, but you cannot play a second copy of a card you have in play. So Conclave on Werewolf will get you an action, but that's the extent of it. I thought there was limited draw in this kingdom. I was wrong. Here come my border guards. They do find me my Rice Broker. I only get to 3 here. This is sad. I wanted 4 for tools. I really wanted the tools at this stage in the game. You see that the border guards are going through almost all of the deck at this point. Unfortunately, I am only getting 3 here. Maybe I should have a silver in the deck. I did think about it here, but I went for the 4th border guard, I believe. My opponent plays their conclave again. That gets them to 5. They go for a second Rice Broker, and here's where I realized I messed up. You know that meme? It was at this moment he realized that he messed up. The Ruins purchase. For the life of me, I didn't see that at all. You can trash the Ruins with the Rice Broker to draw 5 cards. There is draw in the kingdom. There's non-terminal draw in the kingdom. Me and my smart self didn't see that. Here, I do not trash the copper here. After seeing my opponent's idea of using the Rice Broker for draw, I had to think very carefully about what to do. Trashing the copper there meant that I would not have 6 coin in the deck. It means I would not be able to afford the training token. We notice here that I take the lantern over the horn on the border guard. It is more important that I see most of the deck. With so many border guards in the deck, I'm not concerned about top decking at this stage. I need to see as much cards as possible and get to the end of the shuffle. I do trash one of my border guards here just to make sure I get up to 6, and the training token does promptly go onto that border guard pile. So now they all give me a coin, but my opponent is now going to probably draw a heap of cards. They don't, but they've trashed quite a bit. They have the second Rice Broker and the extra draw in the Werewolf. They're even able to play that Shrine. not shrine, the abandoned mine, and they buy a courtier. And I feel like I'm in a lot of trouble right now. They have a werewolf, they have a courtier. I have none of these things. I have a training token, which is something, I guess. Here are my border guards. They fetch me my rice broker. I get up to 8 and 2 buys now. I have to be very careful because I'm playing an uphill battle. I'm fighting an uphill battle at this point. So what do I get on 8 and 2 buys? I'm thinking of 2 4s. I think tools has to be there. In order to catch up with my opponent, I need to have more gains in the deck. They don't have our tools yet, so I like to have the tools. I also want plus buy. So it's either courtier and something or tools and rope. I go for tools and rope here. I cannot quite make the best use of the courtier, which is why I held back on it. Hopefully I can get to courtier on my next turn. Opponent trashes our copper and they finally trash their ruins. They see the whole deck. Conclave on courtier to reveal the werewolf. They get all the options of the courtier, the plus coin, the buy, the plus action, which is not important, and they get the gold, which they can then draw with their border guard. They don't even need to play their werewolf, they can use it to attack me. They get up to 10 and 3 buys. I'm expecting another pair of courtier and werewolf or double courtier at this point. And a ruins. They do get the ruins. Instead, it's rice broker, courtier, and ruin market. That's perfectly fine too. We get attacked. This is mildly annoying. I would rather not get attacked, obviously. But I should be able to find back that rope with my combination of border guards and rice broker. I did. I also found the tools. Out comes the tools. What do I gain with the tools? It could be a second tools. That is definitely a consideration. Have to be very careful here. I choose to gain a border guard with my tools. I do not know if that is correct. In retrospect, I'm leaning towards a second tools at this point. On the 7 and 2 buys, definitely that's courtier and border guard. I have ropes in the deck. There's two types on rope, so I can get coins and gold perhaps, or action and coins, something. I can get some value out of the courtier. Opponent draws deck again after trashing a rice broker with their rice broker. 2 courtiers reveal the werewolves. The werewolves draw the gold. Look at how much money and buys they have. They didn't even trash the ruins on this turn. They have 17 and 4 buys. They buy the last 2 border guards, which makes sense. They will likely trash those to the rice broker to draw a heap of cards, and it takes away resources from me. Obviously, I'm not happy to see it, but it did make sense from them. 2 border guards, a province, and another rice broker for them. So they're saying my deck is great. Your deck is not great, VC Unar. I'm going to take advantage of your lack of development and start to score. Fair play to you, loganberries. Trash a copper off the rope. Here are my border guards. I have both the horn and the lantern now, which is helpful but not ultimately decisive. I find my tools, I find my rope. I have to reveal here coins and buy coins and gold maybe. I take the gold. I don't think I need more than 2 buys at this stage of the game. Plus I have the gain of the rice broker. Of the tools, sorry. My tools gains me another courtier. I buy a wolf and I buy a conclave. I will need the plus action. My opponent has been revealing werewolf with courtier to gain gold and then drawing that gold straight up. That gives them extra power on that turn itself. So I definitely need at least 1 courtier in the deck. My opponent sees their ruins straight away, and here's a rice broker. They're probably going to draw a deck again. They have a few border guards to play, which is fine. But ultimately, the big kicker for them is that they have the rice broker draw. However, they don't go for it. They skipped rice broker, probably thinking they would find another one. Unfortunately for them, they don't, and they have a weak turn here in comparison to what they've been putting out. Just 6 and 3 buys. I am happy about this. Obviously, it makes me feel like I have a chance to get back into the game now. They get a rice broker and another ruins. The ruins pile could run very quickly with Deathcart is in the game, and the rice broker pile can also run out very quickly. So I am also cognizant of piles at this stage in the game. Not going to trash any copper here because I would probably want to trash that copper with the rice broker just to draw as much cards as possible here. I have to take the werewolf here, the draw. We take the lantern, draw with the rice broker, 2 cards. I pick up my tools with my border guard and I pick up the conclave here. Here's where the conclave is going to be very important. I can play the courtier with the conclave, reveal the werewolf, and now I finally get all the options on the courtier. Coins, buy, and gold are the key ones. And look at my turn. My turn finally looks like something respectable. 21 and 4 buys with a tools in play. With a tools. My opponent has bought no tools, which I find is criminal, but I'm not complaining. So what do I do now? Tools has to gain something. I probably should gain a rice broker here. I don't think I need another courtier. I could get another tools. I could get another rope. I end up gaining another wolf with the tools, which is okay. I still think the rice broker is better. And I go for 2 provinces here. And what do I do with the last 5? Should be a rice broker. Please buy a rice broker, Visunar. I'm not buying a rice broker, am I? No. I'm buying a distant lands instead and a ruins. The ruins obviously is for the rice broker. See, I should have bought a rice broker. Look at my hand here. Anyways, the reason why I went for double province there is because my opponent had a stall turn last turn. It means they're probably going to have a good turn this turn. They have 2 rice brokers in hand, if I had to guess. So we saw their output was something like, 17 and 4 buys. Easily they can double province. If I don't double province there, I'm in a lot of trouble in the end game. So I have to do it. All right, so let's see what my opponent gets up to. My hand is not looking great, but let's see what they do. Rice Broker trashes Rice Broker. Border Guard is sifting. Rice Broker trashes another Ruins. So they see most of the deck here. Probably going to have an excellent turn. And they're gaining gold as well. So last time we saw 17. Look at what we saw this time. 26 and 3 buys. 26 and 3 buys. If I didn't buy 2 provinces, I was in big, big trouble here. They have the triple province available to them. They do not take the triple province. They do not take the triple province, which I think is sound. If they took 2 more provinces, there would just be 2 left in the pile. I think that would be an easy win for me if I could draw the whole deck, which is a reasonable assumption to make. However, look at my hand. Look at my hand. Horrible. My opponent takes province, conclave, and distant lands. Pass it back to me. We get hit with envy of our werewolf, which is sad. I would have had a bit more money here, but ultimately I don't think it's that impactful. It is a bit impactful. I would have had 4 for another tools or rope here. I do have my tools though. My options are tools, gold, or rope. I take tools and I think that is wrong in retrospect. I think that should have been another rope for the plus buy. On 2, I could get an estate. I do get an estate. I think it might be helpful coming down to the end of the game here. All right, let's see if my opponent has another big turn. If they have triple province again on this turn, we are definitely lost. I see a rice broker. They trashed an action card, but they trash a courtier for that. Now they trash a distant lands for more draw. They're getting rid of resources here. They get rid of their conclave as well. So they don't have as much resources, but they still have the heap of gold. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Triple province still available to them. And this time, are they going for it? They do go for the triple province this time. Now, I did say that is a command and play for them. It probably is winning. Maybe it is winning. We are 13 points adrift. We are first player, so we cannot tie. What I have to do here is province, triple duchy. Province and triple duchy wins outright. That requires what? 15 and 8, 23 coins and 4 buys. Can we do that? Maybe. I showed 21 in a couple of turns prior. And if my courtiers all connect with werewolves and I'm able to draw the gold straight away, Maybe. Maybe I can do that. Let's see how we can navigate through these border guards first. So we play as much of these border guards as we can. I hope I'm making intelligent choices with these border guards. Picking up the gold here instead of the tools. Tools does not help me win the game. Now, over the course of all the border guards, I had to discard some stuff and then I reshuffled the deck. So what happened on this last play here, I used my conclave on my courtier to reveal one werewolf. So I gained all the benefits, coins, buy, and gold. Great. Then I drew with the werewolf. There is one more courtier in my deck, if you recall. It is not in my hand, and there's one card left in the deck. Where do you think that courtier is? The courtier is on top of the deck. Courtier is on top of the deck. I was hoping to have that courtier in hand, reveal the second werewolf in my hand. That's why I bought a second werewolf, by the way, so I could draw with one and still have something to reveal. And then play the final werewolf to draw probably a couple gold here. I don't have that. Unfortunately for me, I do not have that. And playing this werewolf does not get me enough money, or not necessarily money, but buys to win the game. I have 11 in play, plus 3 gold is 20, plus 1 rope is 21. If I play the werewolf, I can probably get to 23. There's a gold in the discard pile, I know that. At least one. And I'm drawing 3 cards. I'm favored to find the money. I'm not favored to find the buy because I only have 1 rope in the deck. Remember that last turn when I gained tools instead of rope? And remember, the courtier is on top of the deck, so I do not have any additional buy. I only have 3 buys here where I would have needed 4. Oof, that's tough. So what I have to hope happens is my opponent bricks. So I have to set up for next turn. So I get a rice broker with my tools. I get another conclave, I get some more distant lands, and I get some ruins. I'm hoping this hex hurts my opponent. Maybe it trashes our province. Maybe it forces them down to 3 cards. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it hurts somehow. This is mildly annoying. Is it enough to prevent? No, it's not enough. And we lose there. That was a bit sad because we fought back a little bit, but didn't quite get the little bit of luck we needed at the end. Maybe I could have made better decisions with the border guards on the last turn, and I definitely could have made a better decision with the tools on the penultimate turn. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.